Hello. Yes, we are live. It's always a little delay, and you think like, okay, are we live? Are we not? And everyone is just looking like that. Hello, everyone. Welcome to today's live. I'm Christine, and this amazing person next to me is called Mr. Derek Smith. Hello, Derek. Welcome back.
Hello, Christine. Hey, good to see you again. Always a pleasure to be in your space. Thanks a lot for having me.
Thank you so much for being here again. And if you guys have seen me going live or doing LinkedIn audio events or seeing my podcast episodes coming out, you probably came across Derek already because he's this amazing human being who's at the moment based in Portugal. I don't know if you're there at this second, but in general, yes.
That's what the
Yes,
flag
okay.
indicates. Yeah, that's it. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, there you go. Um, and we've done so many collaborations together, and there will be so many more to come. So we're going to work on my public speaking skills as well, because that's part of what he's doing. But Derek, why don't you introduce yourself to the audience?
Absolutely. Thanks again, Christine, for having me. For those who don't know, I'm a public speaking coach. I'm an event host and I'm a master of ceremonies. But my favorite thing in the world is helping people become better speakers. And I do that in a private ecosystem that I've created, which includes online courses, brainstorm sessions, practice sessions, and a private community of speakers that just feel comfortable coming into my world so that way they can make some mistakes, break free of sort of some of their limitations, and then thrive as a speaker. So it's what I do, it's what I love. And yeah, I'm always pleased to engage with Christine and her community because there's so many great people that have even come through through your whole world here, Christine. And so I always appreciate having these conversations with you.
No, yeah, amazing. And I have been, like I mentioned, we've done so many things together. I've been to your practice sessions as well, and there will be many more to come, of course, because there's always something to improve or always a new thing to rehearse. And I know people might ask, oh, what kind of stuff do I rehearse really? Why do I need to practice? I mean, practice, practice, practice is what it's all about, because you can create something that's amazing, but if you're not delivering it in the right way, in an engaging way, then people will not hear your message and will not want to listen. So that's one of the things. And the other thing is that in some of the practice lessons, maybe people just want to rehearse something they say on a reel for that they create, or maybe it's short things, a short talk, bits and pieces of a talk. Maybe it's about intonation, maybe it's about the pace that someone needs to improve. There's so many things. And I remember in the last LinkedIn audio event, and I absolutely loved it, and I still have that on my to-do list, doing a hot and a cold skills list, or what was it, skills you mentioned, or
Yeah, it's
tell
like
us a
the
bit
hot and
about
cold
that.
habits. Yeah, hot and cold habits
Habits.
of your of your speaking, which again we all have. And I'll just recap it quick, real for everybody here. Christine, is you just take a moment, sit down, and consider what it is you do well when you're speaking. What are the things that you consider positives about your speaking, and of course. You consider what your cold habits are, the ones that could use some improvement. They're not negative, but like I said, they could use some improvement. So when you get
Mhm.
that list, you can kind of move, even if it's two columns, you just move those cold ones over to the hot ones over a short period of time once you get your practice beginning.
Yeah, and it is about the practice. And this is when you have that list, you know what to actually practice. So not just what you're saying, because that's also very important, and we mentioned it so many times. But it's also how you say things. And if you have these M's, which was one of the examples that someone mentioned, and that's basically almost everyone has this. What do I want to say next? And also me, I still have that. I really have to be very conscious of that when I go in and speak, and then I can take a little break maybe before I do
Mm.
that sound and then continue talking. And we did talk about also my habit that I want to improve is one of the things that the pacing. So I'm very fast, and I know that you've been the fastest speaker of Canada, isn't that right?
Yeah. Well, let me be very clear. I am the unofficial fastest talker of Canada because it's a title I gave myself because I was always
You
speaking
know.
so quickly in my professional work that I actually had to slow things
Yeah.
down. Yeah, and it's a great feeling when you start taking that control and feeling that you can go fast if you need to, and you can slow down when you need to. And yeah, Christine, we'll continue working on that pacing together.
Exactly. And also, you can see, guys, we're live for not even 5 minutes or whatever. And there's hopefully so much that you can already take out of that and really action focused and things like that. And that's what Derek is all about as well. It's really no just big fluff and the theory and things like that. It's a great combination of, okay, this is how it can be. You have some videos you follow along with these online courses, for example, or you join the community to practice, or you join other things, activities that he's doing, events. There's also, is there not an event coming up that I've seen you posting about?
I appreciate you seeing those things because it is true. There's a lot going on in my private community, which is there are events going on a weekly basis because, like I said, there's practice events, there's
Yes.
brainstorm events, there's networking events, there's workshops and other things going on. So you're absolutely right. There is an event coming up very soon. And one of the ones that I like to invite people to take part in is one of the live open mic events that we do every week, which is a practice event. And Christine, I
Yes.
know you've been in attendance at several of those. It's 2 to 5 minutes and you get to perform whatever you want. So everyone who attends the event speaks. They are an hour or less long in their event. And so you come up, you do your talk, you do your speaking, and then the audience unmutes their microphone and then they provide habits. Let me rephrase that. They provide feedback on your habits, which again, it's all encouragement towards making mistakes. People are always making mistakes in the space because it's a safe space to do so. The idea being, of course, you do it in my private community. So when you head out into the world, you do it in front of your clients, your customers, your community. And ideally, you're making fewer mistakes, or you're still making mistakes, but it doesn't trip you up. It's okay. You are feeling comfortable and you're just playing with it. It just makes speaking, I think, and I think Christine, you probably agree, just makes speaking a lot more fun.
Yeah, for sure. If you do have any comments, because I just saw there was a like coming through. Thank you for the thumbs up. We like the reactions. If you're watching this, you can always put comments. I'm just checking that I can see them as well underneath. And if you have a question or something at this point, feel free to throw one in. Of course, you can connect with Derek as well. I'm gonna tag him afterwards as well, so you can find things. However, so the reason why I said, oh, we're live for 5 minutes and there's already so many things you can take out of that is that you can put a lot of advice and one actionable step at a time in just also a minute, yeah, or in a minute video or something. So I know you have something else going on that people can subscribe to. Can you tell me a bit
Yeah,
more
for
about that?
sure. Yeah, absolutely. Because I mean, a lot of people enjoy short and snappy, and that's also something we practice in our spaces, which is a hot minute. The idea being, of course, in 1 minute or less, and then you answer some questions or you provide some information. I also provide a hot minute newsletter, which I'm actually encouraging everyone in your community right now. If you're looking for just short snippets of advice, tips, ideas for kind of exploring your speaking a bit more, I encourage you to click on the link that Christine's going to provide you, because what we go over in my world are simple structures. That's the whole idea, is that way you can step up, you can start speaking as yourself, be yourself, but then just follow simple structures so you can improvise within that. And then that way you don't feel as though you need stringent rules to follow. And, a simple basic structure that even Christine, I'm going to throw out to you, just something to keep in mind for next time. Remember, it starts with an introduction. You get into the meat of it, your thesis, whatever the reason you are in attendance at a particular event or activity. And then the big one, which is the call to action. Making sure that you have a call to action in place. And sometimes when it comes to your speaking, starting with your call to action is the best way to figure out what the meat is going to be and how you're going to introduce yourself. So sometimes start with the end in mind.
Yes, I love that. And the link actually to subscribe to that is already in the description. So if you guys see that, click on that, subscribe. I'm subscribed. I absolutely love it. It's short and snappy. It's in this world where attention span unfortunately goes down for people. I think that's great. It doesn't mean that everything is just 1 minute that you're providing to people, because there's also really in-depth work and one-to-ones and all of that, which is amazing. What else do we have? What else can we
Well,
say?
well, I wanted to I was reading a statistic earlier this week, Christine, that I thought I would probably share with you because I know this is also in your world as well. But
Mm,
according to Statistica Research Department, they've just done a study that identified that of all professional events this year, 40% of them are now online. So of all the networking events, workshops, you name it, whatever, summits, they're all happening, at
mhm.
least 40% of them, online now. So a lot of people are vying to
Yeah,
get their hands on any form of stage effect that they can get by appearing or being an expert speaker, do a keynote. So right now the speaking industry is on the rise because a lot of people are doing it from, and I'm not teaching or saying anything we don't realize, but the numbers are starting to stack up. People can do it from their homes. So they are
yeah,
leveraging stage effect from home, and it's actually starting to be, it's growing in terms of quality and how people are engaging online. And it's an exciting time for people like me because it's my world. And it's also exciting for people who run businesses or have a passion or feel the need to be a spokesperson for whatever organization they work for. Now's a great time to start going, okay, actually, I'm going to be engaging more with my voice and engaging with my camera more. And yeah, it's a pretty exciting time. And that's why when I saw the statistic, I was like, okay, great. Well, there it is. I mean, I think something to the article mentioned in 2016, something significantly lower, like in the teens, like 15% or something, was live events, and I mean was virtual events, and now we're up to 40%. So it is it's a big increase.
it is. And it's not only also that if you're a public speaker or an event host or master of ceremonies and that will benefit from your tips and working with you or joining your community. It's actually anyone that is going also to networking events need to present themselves. It's people who also maybe give like short 10-minute talks about their business at business networking events. I mean, this is common these days, that in business networking events people get like a spotlight of 5 to 10 minutes, talk about their business. And I think this is so important. The shorter the time, actually, the more you need to nail this. You need to be right on the point, and you need to be convincing and have that call to action, like you mentioned, and so on. So I just wanted to mention that because maybe people think like, oh, but I'm not a public speaker. I'm not going to events and speak there for half an hour or something. It's exactly for that. And I mean, I don't remember when I participated in a live event the last time, unfortunately. For me, everything is online pretty much. I mean, you in Madeira at the moment. I'm in Italy, and technology makes that possible and everything, and it's beautiful. But this is very different to being on stage as well, and you need to see the camera. You have maybe a specific background. You put the flag there, and you have some lights and things like that. But
And
so I just wanted.
it's yeah, and thanks, Christine, because it's a very powerful tool. It's something that, whether you don't enjoy, perhaps some people don't enjoy being in front of the camera. There are, that's true. You can have that feeling, but also be aware that the rest of the world is moving forward in this way, in a way where you can really make a significant impact by just being
Yes.
able to lock your eyes on that camera, say what you got to say, make sure that your audience is taking action. There's so much possibilities and opportunities in front of people just by being on their camera and being effective with their message. And so thanks a lot for following up with that, Christine, because it's something that people need to really take seriously, especially if they want to be professionals.
Exactly. And you guys can start by signing up to the Hot Minute and just start getting to know Derek better and see what he's all about and get some input that you can really implement straight away, because that's what it's all about. And then you can check out all the other things, but make sure you connect with him so that you already see all the amazing things that are happening. Because, like he said, there's so much going on that you can take part in, or completely or just a bit or something, but start with a Hot Minute, because that's really a good way to get started with things. Because maybe you think, oh, it's also overwhelming, I can't invest so much time at the moment. Start with 1 minute. Start
exactly,
with 1 minute.
exactly. Yeah, that's right. Exactly. Trying to keep everything as simple as possible, so that way in our busy lives you can sort of fit it in, which is exactly the intention.
Exactly. Awesome. Any other final words for today, for this live, Derek?
Well, it's a beautiful day where I am in the world right now. So I'm excited to get out of the house because, as I mentioned to you before we jumped on this call, my life is rather virtual because I do a lot of this work on camera, and yet it's still very important for everyone up there to make sure you get out into nature. Don't feel like you got to be behind a camera all the time. Just make sure that if you are going to be in front of a camera, make it effective, because you don't want to be here all the time attending thousands of events every day, which would almost be impossible. But you know what I mean? Just make it effective when you do attend them. When you are going to be in front of a screen, make sure that you are making an impact when you can, because the real things in life are outdoors and you want to probably get outside a little bit more. So that's what I'm looking forward to doing, Christine. So as soon as this call is done, I'm going to go jump in the ocean.
Amazing. Enjoy that. I'm gonna tag you after this in all the all the things, and then do some more work before I actually jump into the hot things tomorrow. Awesome. Thank you so much for being here. Thanks everyone for watching. If you're watching the replay, also lovely. If you do have any comments, make sure you tag me and Derek, or one of us at least, in the comments so we can pick up on them. And yeah, until next time, have a lovely weekend, everyone.
Thank you so much, Christine. Appreciate it. Thank you. Appreciate you.